All right. Beginning of December, the county really had to enforce its camping ordinances. Beggs Lane has been a focus of that. What's the status on Beggs Lane right now?
Well, again, I do have to give the county credit for the last couple of months. They've really been putting resources out there and letting people know that, hey, there's this timeline where you're going to have to get off of this county-owned property. So we've worked with them over the last couple of weeks, and I can tell you that the last time I drove through there, there's almost no one there. There's still a lot of trash and debris, but the county, again, is picking up all of that. The only thing that is left now is some old broken down cars. And I think, as I understand it, I'm not speaking for the county, but as I understand it, they're trying to get a contractor to come in and remove all those cars. So that Beggs Lane pretty much has been cleared up. Now we got to start working on the ordinance moving forward. January 1st, we're going to start enforcing the county ordinance, which is consistent with the state statute.
Mm-hmm. So in enforcing it, what are going to be instructions to your deputies on how to enforce it?
Well, there's a state statute, and the state statute nowhere talks about law enforcement, doesn't direct law enforcement, doesn't give law enforcement any teeth, really. But it does put the onus on the municipality or the county government. So the county commission just passed an ordinance that is pretty much the same and mirrors the city of Pensacola's ordinance, which I think is good. Consistency amongst agencies within the same counties is important, but it also is consistent with the state statute itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to start prohibiting the camping on county-owned property. We are working with them. We're getting a list of all the county-owned properties because we don't know all of them. Mm-hmm. We're getting a list of all those, and then the county is going to give us this blanket authorization, this trespass warnings for those, so that they cannot camp on county property. Not that they can't stand on the sidewalk, not that they can't even ask for money, because those are protected activities, but they cannot camp on county property, which again is exactly what the state statute says.
So they're, in essence, they're instructed to tell them to move along?
Well, our guys will tell them to move on. Mm-hmm. And if they don't move on, obviously, they could be placed in jail.
Okay.
Under arrest.
All right. I know before the election, the Beulah substation was a big issue. You and I talked about it. You have a site that was picked out. What's the status of that?
Well, I've not yet talked to the new commissioner in that district, but we probably the next couple of weeks we'll have some conversations about what the sheriff's office looks like in the future, what my version of public safety looks like in the future. So that hopefully we'll get some clarity on that. We did pick out a site that we thought would be good right there in Mobile Highway, right next to the Equestrian Center. Mm-hmm. The county already owns the property. There's a large piece of grass there that I don't believe is used very much for parking. I've never seen it used for parking in all the events that I've seen at the Equestrian Center. So again, trying to save money, they already own the property, and my suggestion to the Commissioner Bargash was, could we may potentially look at this spot here. I know nothing happens quickly in government, right? But I do think that we owe it to the citizens of Escambia County, and specifically to the Beulah area, to look forward and to say, hey, we need a substation in this area here. The substation, the closest one we have now, is in Inslee, and it's way undersized, and it's obviously quite a distance from the Beulah area. So I think if you continue to project the population growth in Escambia County, mm-hmm. I don't think Beulah is going to slow down any. The north end's not going to slow down any. So I think that we owe it to them to look for different locations for, to place a precinct so we can reallocate our manpower.
We had shootings continue. Are we seeing? And I'm not. We understand there's not a lot law enforcement can do about a shooting all the time, just because the nature of them. But we were seeing what appeared to be retaliatory shootings going on at the beginning of the year. Are we still in that cycle?
I would say that maybe I wouldn't call it a cycle, but I think that we still see one shooting leads to another shooting or retaliation. We fear that because there are inconsistencies in stories and failure to cooperate with us amongst the victims, mm-hmm. amongst the family members, amongst the witnesses. So we think obviously there's some retaliatory intent there at least. I will tell you that the homicides themselves are committed by a rather finite group of people. I can tell you that the aggravated assaults and aggravated batteries, which is typically a larger number, That's any incident that involves a weapon or a knife or a bat, and whether they hit someone or try to hit somebody. Those are assaults or batteries. Those numbers are down. So we think that the overall numbers are going down. It's just this smaller group of people that are inclined to bring a gun to a drug deal, bring a gun to a retaliatory effort. I think those are still taking place, and we hope that with our enhanced manpower and technology that we can continue to reduce those numbers as well.
Now, Superintendent Keith Leonard announced earlier in the year that they were going to be adding screening, at the schools for kids bringing weapons on campus. Has that been installed yet? And have you seen an impact?
Yeah, typically I don't discuss security measures. I'll leave that up to the school. I'm not aware if that's been installed yet. I think that is the intent. I know that we work very well with the school district and with Mr. Leonard. In fact, we had a conversation just a couple of days ago over the holidays about some of the things that they're doing, some of the things that we're doing. We're both very optimistic with the future, but I think we both have a plan, and that plan involves collaboration.
Yeah, have you been able to get the schools plugged into the real-time crime center yet? Those cameras?
Yes,
okay.
we were able to get the cameras, and all the schools. We do a check routinely because cameras go down, as you can imagine.
Right.
But we do a check routinely on the number of schools that we have where their cameras are filtered through our real-time crime center.
All right. When we're coming to the end of a year, what would be a couple of your really big highlights for you this year for the agency?
I think there's a lot of things that we've done kind of behind the scenes. There's some manpower decisions that we've made. We've doubled the size of our narcotics unit. We've put an emphasis on fentanyl investigation. We've made some really big drug cases. We've kicked more doors and served more search warrants than I think we ever have as an agency. I think we're more capable than we've ever been. Then that intersection of manpower and technology that we talk about so often, I think that we're starting to integrate that pretty well. I think we're just at the beginning of the infancy of that sort of of law enforcement, that modern law enforcement. So I think probably the thing I'm most proud of, in fact, is that we have created a culture here at the Sheriff's Office that both empowers the deputies and the employees here to work on our engagement efforts, but certainly our enforcement efforts as well. I just think our capabilities are greater than they've ever been, and we've only just begun to really tap into that, what that's going to look like in the future. So again, the effectiveness that we have as a Sheriff's Office and the productivity that we've had over the last couple of years, really, but certainly this year, is probably things I'm most proud of.
And we've got a congressional race coming up. Are you going to endorse anybody for Congress?
Yeah, I'll probably go with my fellow sheriffs in the 1st District and endorse Jimmy Patronis. I've had a number of conversations with Jimmy over the last years. He always shows up at the sheriff's conferences and always wants to do what he could as the chief financial officer. I've had many conversations with him. I think that he will do right by the district. I think that he will help law enforcement. He will help keep our state safe, help keep our community safe, and so I'll lend my support behind Jimmy Patronis.
Okay. Anything?
We want to thank our sponsor, 360 Marketing. 360 Marketing is Pensacola's full-service creative branding and marketing design boutique. They've been active in Pensacola for over 17 years. 360 Marketing knows that when businesses are succeeding, the entire community is thriving. To help businesses grow, the 360 team develops innovative solutions tailored to each client's specific needs. Every business is unique, and so are the steps they take to tell a brand story. No matter whether you need a logo, a whole brand concept, or a strategic campaign, they can help you out. And now's the time to order branded monogраф throws. Put 360 Marketing in the Google machine to learn more. It's 360printing.com.